tokenized real estate is once you have that token, you can sell that token to other people. And so this drastically reduces the amount of time and effort it takes to sell, because you don't any longer have to list a property for sale, pay a 6% commission, and wait, months for closing. You can just sell that token and someone can buy instantly. And because it's already tokenized, and we do a tokenization framework both on the legal and the logical side, because it's already tokenized, all of the closing and transfer documents have already been done.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is a Washington-based real estate broker with a tech background who's now focused on tokenizing real estate. Please welcome Brendan Burke. Brendan, welcome to the show.
Hey folks, thanks for having me.
Man, it's great to have you on, and you've got an interesting background. You're really doing something that is ultra cutting edge, but I want to back up to the beginning, and I often like to start by asking folks how they got into the real estate space.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think of myself as a bit of a jack of all trades. Really, I grew up in, California's Silicon Valley, and growing up there, owning a house, much less investing in real estate, is pretty unattainable for a young person. House prices are in the millions. I was just graduating college, and really not possible for me to own a house or invest in real estate there. It kind of is what got me into it in the beginning. I grew up around so many amazing houses, and getting into real estate and seeing people who made wealth through real estate really caught my eye. And so fresh out of college, I started a side hustle doing Airbnb, rental arbitrage. It took me a long time. A lot of property owners said, no, I'm not interested in that. But I kept at it, started with 1 and scaled to 3, then 5, then 9. And so currently, I'm at 9 rental arbitrage Airbnbs, as well as 4 other units that I manage for other people. And it's kind of snowballed from there. I ended up getting my broker's license so I could do property management and real estate brokerage in general. And kind of at the same time was working on tokenized real estate. And because back to what I was saying, it was unattainable for me to, invest in properties that way. Wanted to get together with a lot of people to take down a deal together. And so that's where decentralized real estate came from. And so what we do in decentralized real estate is we tokenize real estate assets on the XRP ledger. That allows anyone to buy into a real estate asset for as little as 1 token, but it's as much as you get out of it that you put into it. So, everyone is participating in the management and the actual activities that go into real estate investing right on the platforms.
Tokenization, and I want to break this down because folks may be semi-familiar with the term, but maybe unclear with how this may be different or beneficial versus fractional real estate investing. There does seem to be some similarity there, but there's some big differences. Can you help break this down for us?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes they can be synonymous. Fractionalized ownership and tokenized ownership can mean the same thing in some ways. It's like every tokenized ownership is fractionalized ownership, or it could be. You could buy one token that represents the entire property. But really, the tokenization is the back end. Instead of the fractions and the cap table existing in an Excel spreadsheet or in some back end system, it exists on the blockchain. And so we built on the XRP ledger because they have institutional grade blockchain and tokenization capabilities. I can get into that more on a back end and technical if you want. But essentially what it does is once a property is tokenized, it allows that token to be instantly traded. And so you can think of it kind of synonymous with stocks. If you buy a stock of Amazon or Tesla, you can sell it on the market. It's similar with tokenized real estate. Once you have that token, you can sell that token to other people. And so this drastically reduces the amount of time and effort it takes to sell, because you don't any longer have to, list a property for sale, pay a 6% commission, and wait, months for closing. You can just sell that token and someone can buy instantly. And because it's already tokenized, and we do a tokenization framework both on the legal and the logical side, because it's already tokenized, all of the closing and transfer documents have already been done. And so essentially, our legal framework is that each property is owned one-to-one by its own Wyoming DAO LLC. And so Wyoming, the state of Wyoming, has protections under state law for DAOs. And so they have a DAO designated LLC, and that actually allows us to record the contract address of this token with the Secretary of State. Gives a clear, logical, and legal record of ownership of whoever owns those tokens, owns that DAO LLC, and owns that DAO LLC's assets. And so, it's pretty cool technology for sure. We're definitely one of the first. There's a couple doing it. One is ahead of us is called Lofty. And then there's a couple that are similar in the space, Proppy. And really what we're striving towards is, 100 to 200 properties that people can interact with and actually participate and own around the blockchain.
I want to ask you about the ability to sell instantly versus fractionalized real estate, where you really can't do that because you have to hold on to it until pretty much everyone decides to let it go. That's a big difference, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So fractionalized ownership can look in many ways, right? Like it can be a small group of friends that have gotten together and they've, bought into an LLC, and then that LLC goes and buys property. In that case, it's super illiquid. Like you would have to market just your share of that to either your other LLC members or, to people on, say, Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. Like it's very difficult, or, real estate investment groups. But once you add the tokenization and an actual secondary market and, a DEX, a decentralized exchange, where people that have already signed onto a platform and gone through KYC and gone through the necessary tax reporting requirements can actually buy those tokens right away, it really reduces that burden by a lot.
I think, when folks are thinking about getting into real estate, they may be thinking, hey, I got to pool money with friends. I got to maybe figure out all the different strategies of investing. But tokenization allows, I would say, a limited risk in some ways. Of course, with leverage, there'll be more, but it allows people an entryway to get in. Am I wrong in saying that?
I mean, risk and limited risk is one of those things, especially in investing, that, no one can ever say for sure, right? Investing in any sort carries risk with it. And so, yes, on a tokenized basis, you can buy in for less, which is, maybe less risk, right? But every investment has its risk. Do your own due diligence, check out the market, check out the neighborhood, check out the property, really analyze that deal for yourself. But yeah, I would agree in, impartiality with that statement.
I want to pivot a bit here, Brendan, and ask you about the Airbnb arbitrage, because a lot of folks I think it's in vogue, right? And you got in 2021 with the Airbnb arbitrage?
Yep.
So you got in really when it was not as many people now, but everyone's talking about Airbnb arbitrage. The space has kind of adapted because I think people may be more aware. But what was it like in 2021? And then also, how did you get your first deals?
Yeah, absolutely. Good questions. Coming right out of college and wanting to get into real estate, that was kind of one of the only ways I could get into real estate, because I didn't have, tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to put down, on a real property. And so it took a lot of reaching out. It was honestly about a whole year between when I first started looking and when I actually got a property that, would let me do this. And so, I was reaching out, I had a script that was like, hey, I want to rent your property out and furnish it and put it on Airbnb. So they have great insurance, and I'll get my own insurance and blah, blah, blah. And so, a lot of no's. And I eventually circled back to one of the original property owners that was kind of interested, but wasn't sure. He's like, I need to talk to my lawyer about this. I got to figure out, all the different things that could go wrong. And so about a year later, I, was actually able to start renting this place. That one, the first one was actually already furnished. And so essentially all I had to do was pay a deposit.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And then I was like $1,500. And then, I listed it for, about $700 more than I was paying for rent. And then it was instantly cash flowing in. So that was my first one. And the second one was actually this guy's brother-in-law. And so I have a really, really good relationship with those two, real estate investors. And that's where a lot of my units have come from. And so really, in real estate, it's your network is your net worth, right? So get out there and network with people, go to local real estate investor meetups. That's definitely going to be one of your best bets for finding properties that will, allow you to do rental arbitrage. And so, I live in, at the moment, not a very touristy area. It's a place that people don't go for vacation. It's a place where people go for, work and relocation. There's a few, big employers in this area. And so there's a lot of travel nurses. And so that was really my thesis the entire time is, provide basic accommodations that are, much better than a hotel, of course, but that's just a basic, house, a basic apartment, somewhere that someone can go and live and be here for, 1 to 6 to, even 12 months comfortably. And so that's what I've done, kind of underwritten all of my properties to be, after all my expenses, like if they make $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year, like that's pretty good. And generally it takes about, $5K. You can do it for less to spin it up. That, your rent, your first month's rent, hopefully you can recoup a lot of that. Pretty good success, even listing them before with just unfurnished pictures. Now that I'm, a super host for multiple years, like I can list a property and have absolutely no furniture in it and say, hey, it's going to be furnished by the time you're in there. Like, don't worry about it. But I buy all my furniture from Facebook Marketplace. It's a lot of, running around town with a truck or a trailer and picking up stuff and staging it in my garage or a storage unit. And then, hiring some help and just moving everything in, getting everything set up on day one, and then getting people in there. So yeah, I've seen a lot of things. There's been a couple, interesting people I've dealt with, but by and large, it's been a very, very good experience. A lot of people are super, appreciative. I'm very easy to work with, provide good customer service, and, they reward me for it. So yeah.
I want to ask you specifically about, you have 9 Airbnbs now?
Yeah. So 9 rental arbitrage that are like my own. And then 2 others that I manage as Airbnbs, and then 2 others that I manage as long-term. So, the 9 Airbnbs, the rental arbitrage, they bring in about $26,500 a month in revenue. That's when they're, all fully booked. With a portfolio that size though, like I can have a week vacancy in one of the units and it only impacts my vacancy rate by like 2%. So it's been pretty good, especially this year and last year. I've had a lot of, same day check-ins or next day check-ins. So someone's there for 3 months and then the next day or even the same day, someone checks in for another 3 months. So I really don't do any traditional short-term, like 1, 2, and like week-long stays. I don't really do that at all. It's pretty much only, month plus stays. And I'm very selective also. I don't have instant book on. Again, this depends on your market, whether or not you're going after, vacationers that are going to pay, $500 to $1,000 a night. You might want instant book on, but mine are, I have one that's by the room that's, $1,000 for the entire month. Pretty selective, and that allows me to really reduce that vacancy. Because if I just let the calendar open and someone books, a 3-month stay that's a month away from my current vacancy, then I'm pretty much screwed. I can't really get anyone in there. So yeah. So anyways, back to the numbers if you're interested.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so $26,500 a month in revenue and about $17,000 a month in rent. And then, over the course of almost 4 years, the only thing that's been constant is it's always an average of $200 per property per month in utilities. So that's what I underwrite. But yeah, it leaves a pretty healthy margin. I'll let the viewers do the math there.
Would you say that you're in the midterm space because you have the 30 plus days?
Yep.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So I mean, I'm a big fan of the midterm space. I am in Santo Domingo right now, but I had really grown up in real estate in Texas. And I think oftentimes in Texas, a lot of people starting out may look at some more creative ways, wholesale, or they may look at, arbitrage as one, right? But midterm isn't as glorified as some of the other spaces. Why did you choose midterm over, say, a short term?
Oh, it just goes back to the product market fit. So, again, I live in an area that's not a vacation destination where, short term, there's not going to be as many people coming for short term as there are for midterm. And so, really just looked at the market, did some research, looked around with my eyes because I live here now, but also, researched online, like what is going on in this area. And really what I found is there's a few major industries here. And so a lot of people are coming to either work in those directly or indirectly through, contractors and other support roles. And so there's a lot of people coming to the area. And yeah, that's what made me just do midterm instead of short term, is because that's what would work best in my market.
I'm curious to get your thoughts on people who may be looking at different areas to invest in the country. Your thoughts on Washington versus other areas?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, interest rates are higher. They're higher than they have been, but that was really a very historic low. They're pretty much about average for where they are, historically, but it's still in the high sixes, low sevens, and up, depending on your property. So you got to do your underwriting. You got to look, does this pencil as a cash flow? Like, what's my investment strategy here? Am I trying to do a flip? Am I trying to do a burr? Am I trying to just do long-term? I'm buying it already fixed up. All those things go into your underwriting. And so, what's your purchase price? Are you going to have to rehab it? What's your interest rate going to be? What's your debt service? All your expenses, your taxes. And so I've invested in Ohio. It has a really good gross rental yield. And so for that reason, I'm looking for cash flow out there. If you're looking for high growth appreciation in the value of the asset, dare I say California, do your research, right? There's some states that are landlord unfriendly and there's some states that are landlord friendly. If you're really looking for cash flow, I'd say go Midwest or even into the South, but be aware of the local weather and other things like pests that can really affect the, structural integrity and just the integrity of the house in general. So always get an inspection if you're not, an ex-contractor or a current, property inspector. One, it's really good to do due diligence there on, the quality of the house, but also it's a great bargaining chip for your negotiations with the seller on the sales price. So yeah, it's just my 2 cents.
I mean, I lived in Denton, which was north of Dallas, and I figured, it's Dallas, we'll be okay. I had no idea that there was going to be all types of tornadoes when I moved out there. I don't know if I would have moved right out there. They do get tornadoes, but they really don't. They don't really get tornadoes in Dallas. Like Dallas proper, you don't see a cyclone dropping onto the dirt, and you'll see it in Denton, and my car got wrecked in Denton. So all these things that make me think, you really do have to have some boots on the ground before you maybe start looking at these types of deals. But Brendan, we are coming up on time here. Where can folks go if maybe they'd like to learn more about your tokenization business? And then also maybe if they have deals in the Washington area that maybe they want some feedback or a second opinion on.
Yeah, absolutely. So decentralized real estate, DREDAO.com, DEREDAO.com. You can find everything there. If you want to, connect with me directly, go to meetbrendan.com, MEETBRENDAN.com. I'm happy to meet with anyone, happy to connect with anyone. Really love the real estate space, and I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Brendan, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Appreciate it. It was a blast.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.